can you talk about why you started Red Argyle?
Why I started Red Argyle. I had been working in the Salesforce space for years, and I had a day job, and I had an increasing number of people that were interested in having me help them with Salesforce. That kind of turned into a night job. My night job kind of turned into a day job, and before I knew it, I had 2 jobs. And at some point in 2010, I decided that it was safe to make the switch from 2 day jobs to starting Red Argyle.
He had a vision to just deliver fantastic work differently and do it in a way that makes a good life for people that are with Red Argyle. And the biggest thing was Tom, and his vision and relentless pursuit of quality work. I knew that I would be 100% confident jumping in with it, so jump we did.
10 years. It is amazing. Tom and Gary started this, Tom started this, brought in Gary. Gary had a vision and jumped right on the train. I was brought in as a developer with absolutely no Salesforce experience, but I was given every tool that they could to succeed, and I couldn't imagine having another job right now, and I couldn't imagine wanting to grow with another company.
I really enjoy the different work that we do. We have a lot of really important customers, and they provide us a lot of interesting work. So there's always something new and fun to work on, and there's always interesting people to work on those projects with.
I always knew I wanted to start a business. I didn't know exactly what it looked like when I first had those thoughts. I had been in corporate world and education world and consulting world, and I knew I wanted to do something a little different.
Red Argyle is a really great place to work. It's a great environment to be in. They make work fun. They take all the stress out of the environment so that everyone can be successful and focus on what they're doing and have purpose in their work. Working with other Argylers is definitely a more relaxed environment, and everyone is able to really be themselves and shine.
Red Argyle kind of started as under a different purpose. I have a background in design and information architecture, and I thought that Red Argyle was going to be still going to be a consultancy, but maybe helping organizations manage their information. Red, best color in the palette. That's obvious. Argyle is a pattern on top of other patterns, and when we think about information, it's really patterns on top of patterns. Then Red Argyle's purpose changed from that into the Salesforce world. That's where the direction has gone, and it's been awesome. But I think that fact still remains. It's our job to uncover patterns on top of patterns, and I think our customers look to us to pull back those layers and understand truly what their need is.
My favorite thing about Red Argyle is the people. If I look across our company, from incredible developers like Brian Taylor, who are able to whip up these amazing UI interfaces at the flick of a dime, that completely just blew my mind, all the way to folks on my team, right? Configuration with Aniela Wolkanowski, who is able to not only build amazing flows as well, but also can run through a robust testing strategy to validation tests and everything in between. And even folks everybody here is just really walks our mojo. They embody that every day and they lead by that. So that's my favorite thing about Red Argyle.
I think that the staff, continue to blow me away. And I remember, when our first staff member got their first certification, 8 years ago or so, and it was a cause for celebration. And I want to say this year, we've probably added 20 certifications to our team. And again, it's just a testament to amazing people that we have, the creative energy that we have, and beyond just certifications, just the stuff that we see people inventing.
I'm happy to come in every day. We have multiple different projects that we can work on, all different types of, and all different areas of Salesforce, right? And we get to work with some of the biggest clients in the world. And
This isn't 1,500 sheets of paper. All right, this is 1,417 sheets of paper. Do you know what this sheet of paper is?
That is one sheet of paper with a Red Argyle logo.
Now, imagine if you will, this is our first project.
I see where you're going. Okay,
That's number one.
that's one.
Look at all this. This is what else we've done. Now imagine if we actually took this project and wrote it all down. It'd be a book. This is just a small representation, as of today's count, of the experience that our firm has.
The thing that stood out to me about Red Argyle was the Mojo. That's what we call it here internally, right? It's our values that we adhere to, that we live by, work by, breathe by, and it's really just us at the end of the day.
To talk about Mojo, I probably should talk about values for a second too. You know, it's taken, I think, well, it's 10 years. It's 10 years in running, but I think it was maybe 7 years in the making before we found the right words to describe how we want to approach our work. And we were sitting in a cabin in the Adirondacks with the rest of our staff, kind of throwing words around to figure out what felt most meaningful. And we landed on transparent, articulate, and purposeful as the values that we wanted to uphold ourselves to. It's been really interesting to see the evolution of those words and the way we describe them and how they've become language here at Red Argyle for us to measure ourselves against.
You know, we as business owners came from I would say, slightly non-traditional background. So that has always led us to approach problems a little bit differently, not from an enterprise business mindset, but from a creative mindset.
I think that our growth is accelerating as a company right now, and we're learning how to manage that a little bit. It's with maturity comes growing pains, for sure. I think we're kind of stepping out of adolescence into pre-adulthood as a company. I don't know if companies are measured in dog years or how that all breaks down, but you know, it doesn't. I don't see it stopping.